In this full review, I'm going to be talking about one of the greatest cartoons of Nickelodeon, Danny Phantom. So we all know the lyrics to the song, Yo, Danny Phantom, he was just 14 when his parents built a very strange machine. This series has to be one of my top 10 cartoons as a kid growing up. Now, I'm not going to say which ones in particular order because I have a list I'm trying to put out, which I have a huge list on cartoons that I grew up with that I want to put on my top 10, but it's going to be hard to put it in there because I watched a lot of cartoons growing up. Now, Danny Phantom has to be very high on everyone's list of cartoon shows from Nickelodeon. Like, you had your SpongeBob, your Fairly Odd Parents, your Rocko's Modern Life, your Ren Stimpy, but Danny Phantom brought in like a perspective of comedy and action. Now, I would say Avatar: The Last Airbender had that same elements, but I'll probably talk about that another day. But Danny Phantom's brought in like a perspective that really afflicted my childhood. Like, from watching the TV specials, all the episodes that showed up every Friday, and all the lovable characters, and all the funny villains, and all the continuity and special episodes and all that kind of stuff, it just brought in my attention, like, as a kid. Like, when I see Danny Phantom, I feel like it's a mix of Spider-Man meets Ghostbusters. Danny's parents make a ghost portal that leads to the ghost zone. Now, once they go off ahead and Danny goes inside of it, he had a strange accident, kind of similar to when Peter Parker got bitten by a radioactive spider, and gets pretty much ghost DNA into his DNA system. And when he wakes up, he finds out that he's a ghost, and decides to use his ghost powers for good, and go off and save his city of Amity Park. Now, one of the things I'm kind of disappointed is that there was no origin story, like an episode that shows how Danny got into all the visualizations of his powers and how he got them. But we kind of had the visualization from the opening, so I guess that's kind of good. I just usually expect that there's an origin story to, like, with Spider-Man, we know how he got his powers, and Batman, how he became the Batman, that kind of all that stuff. I'm hoping for, if the show makes a comeback, then there'll probably be an origin episode or something like that. If you guys didn't know, Butch Hartman created this series, and if you recognize the artwork from his Danny Phantom to Fairly Odd Parents, then you can kind of see the similarities to it. I feel like the Danny Phantom animation is very upbeat and very on point more than the Fairly Odd Parents, but I guess it's because they use different angles, so you can figure out, oh, so this is wholly different than Fairly Odd Parents, so they don't live in a different universe. But there's been a lot of theories out there that saying that Danny Phantom and Fairly Odd Parents are in the same universe. With that being said, let's talk about the characters. Now, the characters, I have to say, are pretty lovable characters. They are hilarious, and some that you love, some of them that you hate, but some of the villains that you just cannot hate. First, there's Danny. He has ghost powers. He's pretty much a hybrid ghost, or everyone calls him from the episode 6, I believe, the Halfa. And then everyone starts to believe that this Danny Phantom is a villain towards Phantom Planet, where everyone kind of pretty much accepts him as a hero, except for his parents. Not talking about the parents. The parents, Mr. and Mrs. Fenton, have to be the stupidest parents in all of Nickelodeon cartoon shows. Maybe even from Cartoon Network Disney Channel. I don't know. It's just, they just don't know that their son is half ghost. Like, yeah, he goes on very much strange adventures and all that kind of stuff, and you don't get the idea to, like, figure that out. Except for his sister Jazz, which she finds out that he's actually half a ghost somewhere around episode 7 or 8ish in the first season. But she grows to accept that he is fighting for what's right and all this kind of stuff to fight up all the ghosts. Talking about more of the characters that people usually really care about is Sam and Tuck. Now, Sam, oh man, I shipped Danny and Sam for a long time growing up with the series, and they just have great chemistry. Danny and Sam are basically this great romantic shipping there, and she's always pretty much the 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 word. If you ever had to go through like who's the wisest one out of the group, it would be Sam, even though she's the goth vegan chick. And then Tucker is pretty much the comic relief. He is just pretty much hilarious. The techno geek who is always just funny. Like there's an inside joke to all of this, like saying like he's the like there's always that upbeat funny black kid in the group, but I think there's like a reference there, but if you guys can reference that, then comment below on that. And now talking about the villains. If I had to say anything about the Danny Phantom villains, the Danny Phantom villains are on point. They are great. Like, you would recognize them and say like, oh man, I'm glad that this is their episode that Danny has to like defeat. I would say a lot of things about the ultimate villain, but I do not want to spoil it because that's towards the end of season 2, and I don't want to spoil it for anyone that hasn't seen it. But go check it out if you're already caught up after season 1. The villains, I had to say, like I said, I really like the villains. Like within the Danny Phantom villains, you got your Johnny 13, your the Warden, the Lunch Lady, Skulker, and then your Embers, and my personal favorite.
Hello, I am Technus, manipulator of machines, lord of all gadgets.
Yeah, he has to be like one of my favorite villains. Like Technus is always bringing out that funny continuity, like revealing his plans, and the whole technology, like using technology and making it into ghosts and that kind of stuff, is pretty much my favorite. The main villain of Danny Phantom, I would like to say, he's also my favorite, but also the one you can grow to hate. Is Plasmius. Plasmius is basically, he's half ghost, just like Danny. He is a grown man who is actually best friends with Jack Fenton, but he grows to hate Jack because he actually wants to go after his wife, Maddie Fenton. Yeah. A grown man wants to kill his best friend to get with his hot wife. Yeah, that's one of the continuities that I liked about Plasmius too, because he's always trying to get to his best friend's wife, who actually, his best friend is the one that got him to be a ghost from the accident that they had in college that made him have this ecto-acne and make him pretty much half ghost, just like Danny. So if you want to say who had it worse to get ghost powers, I would have to say Plasmius. All the episodes, if you have to say about Danny Phantom's episodes, they're pretty upbeat. They're great episodes. I don't think there's even one bad episode. I know a lot of people don't like the 3rd season, but I have nothing bad to say about any episode of Danny Phantom. To me, I don't think there's any bad episode of Danny Phantom. But if I had to say which one's my personal favorite, I might have to say the premiere of Technus. Like, that has to be one of my favorite episodes. And also, the other one would have to be when Skulker makes his first appearance in Danny Phantom. But overall, this series is a great series for kids, and also a great series for teenagers, and also for those young adults that want to watch cartoons. It just has a pretty much great upbeat of villains and characters, and a lot of minor characters that you want to see. And I gotta say, this series is great, and I would have to give it a 9.5 out of 10. And like I said, it's a top 10 cartoon for me. So that's all I have to say about Danny Phantom. If you like what I have to say, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.